dawn of the second day, 2 videos remain. Anyway, hey guys, it's Zach, and welcome to episode 96 of Let's Play Chrono Cross. In the last episode, we defeated the Dragon God, or the Time Devourer, or the quasi-existence of existing thing. Anyway, and then Balthazar told us that the Dragon God was really consumed by Lavos, 10,000 years ago after the battle between Chronopolis and Dinopolis, and that somebody, a life form from this dimension, from this planet, is merging with Lavos and becoming a new life form called the Time Devourer. And it is now our mission to go and stop him. And of course, he gives us the time egg, which allows us to do that. So let's go. And there's nobody here. There's what? I thought somebody would be here. Oh, okay. Well, maybe we should cross the dimension then. Maybe it's on the other side. And actually, it is, guys. Use the Astral Amulet because in order to access the final boss, you need to head into the home dimension. And I'm going to allow this cutscene to play because it's awesome and we're never going to see it again after this. So, and it's still pretty cool. I wonder how many frames it took him to do that animation. To stand up like that. Anyway. What's that?
1 million.
Alright, so here we are in the home dimension, and who's that? It looks like... Wait a minute. These are the ghost children. But they're no longer ghosts. And actually, those of you who played Chrono Trigger would know who I'm about to talk to first. This is, of course, Luca. So, you finally made it, Serge. When did this sorry tale all begin? Was it 10 years ago when you almost drowned here? Or was it 14 years ago when you were wounded by that panther demon that attacked you, resulting in you being carried to Chronopolis where you came into contact with fate in the frozen flame? Or perhaps it was even 2,400 years ago, years in the future, when the time crash hurled Chronopolis back to the prehistoric times? Or even it could have been 12,000 BC, when an ancient magical kingdom met its end after trying to use Lavos. Which do you think it is, Eric?
Well, according to her, it's none of them, so...
Yes! Each is close to being correct, and yet, at the same time, so far from the right answer. The true beginning was during the destruction of the ancient kingdom of Zeal. As the palace collapsed around her, Princess Shala was sucked into a dimensional vortex along with the Lavos Mammon machine. Shala and Lavos became unified into one even more powerful entity that would evolve into the Devourer of Time. So there's your answer. That's who is missing from this world. Filled with hatred and sadness of Lavos, half of Shala's mind became set on destroying all of existence. Yet at the same time, the other half of her mind desired to save the universe and to be rescued herself. And by the way, guys, Shala is basically who Balthazar was talking about at the end of the last episode. That's who's merging with Lavos. You know, as you just read. Or I read. Anyway. As Shala fell through the time gate in this condition, she heard your crying echoing through time. That is when her story and yours began to intertwine. It is also when the past and the future began to intersect, and when the world became divided into two. Led by the pitiful crying, the young Serge made as the panther demon's poison took hold of him. Princess Shala traveled 10,000 years in time to try and make contact with this dimension. This caused a raging magnetic storm that resulted in Fate's system malfunction, which led Serge to the first flame. Yes, Serge, the sound of your crying touched the heart of Princess Shala. So, let me get this straight. Out of all the suffering that could have been going on in the world, she latches onto Serge?
Throughout all of history, no less.
Yes, throughout all of time. It's like, Oh, this one boy is crying. I choose him. But okay.
Yep.
Before the destructive mindset could become dominant, she cloned herself and sent her copy into this dimension. Shala left her baby daughter clone with her ancient pendant possessing magical powers. This was to safeguard her daughter clone in life and death situations. Okay. The pendant would rewind time a little, sending her daughter clone into a safer point in the immediate past. Well, wait a minute. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and think. Remember when we went to save Kid and how Masa and Moon and Doreen, I think, called Kid a princess? And then they seem to have known her. And remember how Kid couldn't, had like no memory of being injured, and like every single time she got injured, she was always miraculously healed? And she has the astral amulet. That's right. Kid is Shala's daughter clone. Sorry, I had to use that clip a second time. But you think they would have, given you more hints hidden throughout the story instead of just dumping it on you all right here. I mean, really.
Yeah. The only thing we got was the whole fact of a Kid having sort of amnesia off of her, getting injured, and then they're like, yep, that's why.
Yep. You're wrong. I'm me. I ain't no... Oh, yeah, I had a surfer dude on her last time. Yeah, you're wrong. I'm me. I ain't no Shala's daughter clone. Or clone. Yes, that's right, Kid. If that's how you feel. I think Princess Shala would have wanted it to be that way too. I have nothing to say to you. And now about Project Kid. Oh, good lord.
Well, that exposition's out of the way. On to more.
Exactly. Yeah, guys, this is going to be a short episode, but the reason I didn't include this all in the last part is because this is so freaking long. It's going to be boring, but you're going to get all the other exposition out of the way in this one part. Yeah, because I did a test recording, and it took like 14 minutes, and I'm like, there's no way I want to make that part that long, so... Because originally I was going to include this all in the last episode, and 96 was going to be the last recap, but, yeah, anyway. And now about Project Kid, the time control project Balthazar planned out. The whole project existed to lead you to this one special point in time. Okay, so pretty much Balthazar is like God, I guess. He's just like, okay, I'm gonna do this and this and this and this and this, and then it should all lead to this one spot that I want to end up in. Oh yeah, look at that, it did.
But of course, he can plan everything in advance.
The founding of Chronopolis, the time crash, and the battle between Fate and the Dragon Gods. It was all coordinated so that you would get your hands on the Chrono Cross and come to this place. Of course, Kid was not to know anything about this whole plan until later, when all this will finish. So, wait a minute. Then why are you telling her now? Is now when she's supposed to learn it, or is she still supposed to learn it later? Did you just create a paradox?
Indeed.
Oh no. Doc was right. It will unravel the very fabric of time.
That's just worst case scenario.
Yes, it might be just limited to our own galaxy.
Yep.
Further in the future, Kid is meant to travel back 10 years in time from now to save Serge from drowning. So that's how the world got split into 2 dimensions. And then Kid was also meant to call Serge into the other world as he spoke with Lena here on a passive beach. Okay, so guys, I'm going to go out and just say this. I don't know if at the beginning of the game when Serge actually finally traversed the dimensions, if that was Kid calling him, because like Serge heard his name and stuff. I don't know if that was Kid actually calling him then or not, because in a wiki about Kid, when Serge and Kid meet up in at Cape Howell, like that was before they were supposed to. Like Kid's personal history get rewritten a bit with that, because they weren't like Kid was not ready to go back in time yet. So like, I don't know for sure if Kid actually did call Serge to that other dimension or not. It's very unclear. I don't know if she didn't. I don't know who did. Eric, maybe you can come up with a theory on this, but good luck.
It seems like it would be her. I mean, if not, who would it be?
But she doesn't know that. Like, see, when they meet up at Cape Hell, it was before Kid had any knowledge of Serge and before she went back in time. So that's what doesn't make sense to me. It's like, why would she call Serge then if they hadn't actually met yet? And then Kid's personal time got rewritten because they had met at that point in time. So it's really weird.
Indeed.
You're our last hope, our final chance. Only you, who came into contact with Shala and Kid, Shala's clone daughter. I think you mean daughter clone, actually.
You have some consistency.
Can do it. In the darkness that exists on the other side of time, Shala has been integrated with the Devourer of Time. Please, Serge, release Princess Shala from the binds of that monster and her own hatred. Show us the life forms that exist on this planet, what our new future will be. And the Kid's like, I still have nothing to say to you. Can we like rewind this whole exposition back to me being this daughter clone?
I think Kid would have something to say.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, let's talk to this one that looks like Chrono. Where even angels lose their way. Or actually, you know what? Why don't you read some of this? Why am I reading this all?
Alright, I guess.
10 years ago, you died at this very spot. There's no mistake. You drowned.
Like Ben.
Kinda, but this isn't a bad creepypasta.
Hey, that was actually a good creepypasta. What are you talking about? I got the creeps from that. I went to sleep that night. Like, I was like nervous and stuff. I'm like, man, that was creepy.
Indeed.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
The truth is, this world in which you are still alive is the irregularity. This is the false reality.
Okay. Alright, I'll use that clip one more time, but yeah. couldn't resist that time.
10 years ago, it was Lynx who tried to kill you at this beach. After Prometheus broke the link between Fate and the Flame, Fate tried to eliminate any obstacle that stood in its way. In the meantime, the 6 dragons had sent Harl forth to try and gain possession of the flame. Harl made contact with Fate's biological incarnation, Lynx, and tricked him into temporarily joining forces.
Ah. Well, that actually does line up perfectly, doesn't it?
The elimination of the Prometheus circuit's lock on the frozen flame was everyone's top priority. Lynx and Harl abducted Luca, who alone could release the Prometheus lock that guarded the flame. But the whole attempt only ended in failure. Then they just waited for you to appear instead. You see, Fate calculated that you would one day cross the dimensions and try to make contact with the flame.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Seems like something Fate would do.
I don't know how to break this to you, but Lynx was actually your father, Wazuki.
Okay, that is actually the last time I'm using that clip, because this is getting freaking ridiculous now. That's one too many, game. One too many times I had to use the dun 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 sound effect. Okay. And seriously, they couldn't have like included this like earlier in the game, like maybe when you're going through Chronopolis.
You're forced to kill your own father. You find out that this is a tragic thing, but you must do it because you need to stop fate from destroying the world. And then that turns out to be bad in itself. And, that could have been so great. But nope, it's a text subnote on a beach.
Yep, at the end of the game.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And I like how Serge doesn't even react to this. He's just like standing there like, oh. Okay.
Well, that makes this awkward.
Yeah,
like he killed him, kind of killed Fate.
Exactly.
Kind of killed. Boy, I just destroy a lot, don't I?
Like, wow. I mean, yeah, exactly. Well, Serge is mute. He's he's the mute character, but he could have had like a ... or something. Like,
yeah, an expression little window thing. Be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, exactly. But
at least do a Neo. Whoa.
Whoa. His name was John Matrix. Whoa. Anyway.
Yeah. Drawing closer to the flame caused him to become unstable, and the image of you dying in terror changed him completely.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, after having his psyche totally eroded, he lost his soul and was easily integrated by Fate.
Mm-hmm.
Fate turned Wazuki into a biological interface, modeling him after your worst fear at the time, a panther.
And there you go, people. That's Lynx's backstory. The whole explanation. Why does he look like a cat or a panther? Well, there you go. And what was his connection to Serge? Yeah, he's his father.
Yep.
Although Wazuki managed to escape from Chronopolis with you, he later completely succumbed to fate.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Oh. Okay, there we go.
Humans are such fragile, disjointed, imperfect things. Love and hate, life and death. Perhaps even fate itself dreamed of using the flame to someday reincarnate itself into a new species.
Entirely possible.
It is quite sad, really. It's like when you gaze into the flame gazes back into you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, it does have eyes, so, I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that I suppose that would. Oh, let's talk tomorrow. A new species is about to be born on this planet. An alien life form even more evolved than the old Lavos. At the darkness beyond time, the weakened Shella came under the influence of Lavos, and the two became one entity. Morrow, we kind of already know this.
It's not my fault you didn't talk to me into the last person.
but Luca already mentioned this in Chrono, I think.
I didn't want to be left out.
It is up to you now. Yeah. The one whom the frozen flame has chosen as its arbiter. You alone can decide how the new Lavos, which has encaged Shala within it, will evolve from here. Your actions will determine whether in the future all time is devoured by Lavos, sending the world into everlasting death. Well, jeez, drama queen much? Good lord. Balthazar foresaw this was going to happen in his world in the year 2300. I'm sorry, wait a minute. If Balthazar in the future was on the timeline that was not destroyed by the Time Devourer, how did he see this? What?
Magic.
I'm sorry, am I the only one who just doesn't understand like how that's possible?
Whenever you see something like that, a wizard did it.
Thank you for the Simpsons reference.
Indeed. It's what I'm here for.
And he was determined to prevent it from happening, no matter what it took. The Chrono Cross, it alone can combine the sounds of the 6... Don't pay any attention to that sound. The sound of the planet that the 6 types of elements produce. And I just realized that Skynet went offline. Actually, guys, what that sound is pigeon, and what went offline was the AIM robot that I named as Skynet. And it finally went offline. We're saved. Anyway.
Thank you, John Connor.
The melody and harmony that brim within all life forms use the song of life to heal her enmity and suffering.
Yeah.
We entreat you, Serge. Please save Shala. Okay, what, do you say anything else? Please use the song of life to heal her enmity and suffering. You're the only one that can do it. Oh, okay. Let's check with Chrono.
Help us, Obi-Wan. You're our only hope.
Chrono, do you have anything else to say? Chrono, do you have anything else to say?
Oh, yeah. It's now up to you to decide how you want to live. You are the new Chrono Trigger.
Okay. This is annoying. So I just got a bunch of alerts from... I got an alert from Facebook. And then my phone rang with that same alert. And like... Alright.
Come on, guys. He's trying to record. Jeez.
Yeah. Sorry for making you sad, kid. You see, we no longer exist in this timeline. Then how are you here?
It's all in your mind, man.
Oh no, Skynet came back online.
Well, we're doomed.
Okay. But it is a relief to see that you have grown into such a fine-looking lady. But of course, you are beautiful. After all, you're the great Luca's little sister. Actually,
so she's
that
from
makes
BioShock?
Actually, that makes sense to be in quotes because it was a phrase. So that somebody said, "Sis." Well, good luck, kid. Give it your best shot. Show us, the life forms that exist on this planet, what our new future will be. Okay, and that's all these guys will ever say. Now I feel the need to quickly explain something here. Alright, so if any of you have ever wondered why, the Chronopolis in the homeworld changed, or the Sea of Eden in the homeworld changed to the Dead Sea. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering that. Eric, have you wondered that?
Indeed, I have.
Okay, well, here's the explanation I'm going to give you. Now that all plot information has been revealed, the reason is, okay, when the world got split into 2 dimensions, the homeworld retained a carbon copy of every event that led up to this year, or to that moment in time when Serge was saved from drowning. It retained a copy of the past from another world, which is the actual world from Chrono Trigger, like the real world, basically. The problem is, though, that after that point in time, it completely changed the future, and that's because Chrono and his friends from Chrono Trigger, when they were doing all their time traveling, that didn't carry over into the homeworld, because they only have the ability to travel through time in another world. They didn't have the ability to cross dimensions. So as far as time is concerned in the homeworld, the future still gets destroyed by Lavos in 1999, or, well, now we know is the Time Devourer. And so that's why after Serge got saved 10 years ago, and the world got split into 2 dimensions, the Sea of Eden got renamed to the Dead Sea, and like that whole area just changed. The future changed to reflect it in that area, basically. And obviously before that moment, before Serge was saved, it was still the Sea of Eden. So there you go. There's your explanation, Eric, and everybody else who was wondering this. And so with all that out of the way, yeah, that's the end. All exposition, as I was saying, is done. Every plot element has been revealed, and you see this mysterious wormhole. Yeah, it's much different from the one over here, wherever it is. There it is. That's odd.
It finished.
Yeah, that's the wormhole that's going to take you to the final battle. The final boss awaits on the other side of the wormhole. And that will be saved for episode 98. This marks the end of this episode, guys. Thank you very much for watching. In the next episode, I'm going to do a chronological order recap episode. It's not going to be a summary of all the parts that I've recorded. It's going to be every single plot element, major plot element, story-wise, that we know, or that has been revealed, in chronological order. So obviously it's probably just going to start here when I'm talking to Luca, but and of course I'm actually probably going to like go really quickly in summarizing a lot of stuff, like, you know, when like the adventure begins and stuff like that. I'll kind of just race through that probably, but yeah, anyway, so that'll be the next episode, that recap episode, and then episode 98 will be the battle with the Time Devourer, and then this Let's Play will finally be over. It's been a long time coming. I started this Let's Play in 2010. It's about time that this ends. So, yes, once again, thank you very much for watching. Eric, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for helping me read through this stuff. And, yeah, hope you had fun. So, guys, in the next episode, recap. And, yes, hard to believe it's almost over. So, I will see you guys then.